And many of us woke up on Sunday morning to an alert on our phones that seemed fake. In the NBA, it said that the Dallas Mavericks had traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, and there was another cast of characters involved that went between the two teams and also involved the Utah Jazz. But the headline is Luka for Anthony Davis. Aly, what do you make of that?
That was definitely not on my 2025 bingo card. I was not expecting a huge blockbuster trade like this, especially for... I could definitely see the Lakers trading away Anthony Davis. I felt like that was kind of one of their only leverage points because they've traded away a lot of their first round picks when they were bringing in Anthony Davis and when they brought in Russell Westbrook a few years back, which was a horrible decision. But anyways, so they were kind of in a bad place if they wanted to add a big player. So I felt like the only really leverage item they had was someone like AD or maybe an Austin Reeves. But obviously Austin Reeves is not as valuable as Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So I definitely didn't see this coming. And again, the Mavericks trading away their franchise piece in Luka Doncic it's crazy to me. I cannot believe that they did this.
Yeah, it was believable that the Lakers traded away Anthony Davis. It was unbelievable because they're not only is Luka Doncic like the kind of guy you build an entire team around that can almost single-handedly in a way get you to a finals like he did last year. Granted, they played great defense outside of him. They had Kyrie as another scoring option, but generally they don't make the finals, of course, without him.
No.
So the idea that and it had not been talked about at all. There was no rumors swirling. So this just came out of absolutely nowhere. It makes sense in some ways for both teams because the Lakers, as they are presently constituted, they're built around LeBron and AD, but that was good enough to win them a championship during COVID. It's not anymore. And Anthony Davis doesn't feel like the kind of player that you can, he's getting to the other edge of his prime now. Yeah. He often is injury plagued or doesn't want to play through injuries, whatever it is. And so they had to readjust everything. And so now they have a player that they can build around for the future long term.
For sure.
Apparently the Mavericks were unhappy after they changed ownership. Many people don't even probably realize that Mark Cuban isn't their full owner anymore.
Yep.
They were unhappy with Luka's conditioning. And he's been out since Christmas, right? He hasn't played.
Yeah.
So they feel like this is better for them in the short term where they can actually, I don't think they can win a championship with Anthony Davis and Kyrie, but in the West, they can compete and get pretty far.
They got Klay Thompson as well now.
Yeah, so at least they can stay relevant even if Luka's not going to show up.
For sure. They're not going to become a team that's suddenly terrible. But yeah, this is a shocking move by them. I really cannot. I've watched the NBA for years. I cannot believe that they did this. And again, teams trade away stars all the time. There were other stars that were traded away this weekend. But this is just, it's suddenly taking a franchise that felt like it had a route to making its way to winning an NBA Finals again to a team where you're just like, what are you doing? And they're just changing their whole formula. Literally, the GM said they are molding the Mavericks towards a more defensive team than an offensive one, which, yeah, sure, if you're removing a player that averages 28 points per game, yes, you're definitely going for a more defensive route than offensive.
Yeah, which is really, a combo of Luka being amazing and then the rest of the team being great at defense is what got them to the finals last year. But you're definitely taking an offensive step backwards with AD stepping in instead of Luka. Apparently, assuming that he's always going to be healthy, of course. And I feel like that's not quite good. You need another offensive piece to be able to counteract what you've lost with Luka to actually compete for a championship. Although just their defense alone and Anthony Davis and Kyrie and whatever scoring wise should be good enough to get them very far in the playoffs. To at least give them a shot in any series.
Potentially, but sometimes I just don't know if they... Kyrie has been that bucket getter sometimes, and maybe he will become more of that now that Luka's gone, but it just feels like they lost that person that you would just give the ball to because Luka had those moments. You would just give him the ball, and you knew he would get you a bucket.
Meanwhile, now the Lakers have two of those guys, but absolutely no defense whatsoever. So counterintuitively, a team with LeBron and Luka probably doesn't, at least this year, unless they make a bunch of moves, have a great NBA championship chance, as fun as that would be.
Yeah.
For some of us anyways.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.